What do you want me to do?
Gran, you're not going to help her anymore. Haven't you done enough already?
I think Mum can make up her own mind.
Well, I won't let her. I'll call the police.
Like hell you will.
Judy.
I mean it. If you give us any more trouble...
If you tell anyone I'm here, you're going to be putting Mum right back inside. You expect anyone?
No. Quickly, get in there.
You better watch it.
Hello, Mum.
Well, aren't you going to ask me in?
Yes, of course. Are you sure you ought to be here?
Hello, Judith. Oh, stop worrying, Mum. I just called in to see why you haven't reported to Miss Vernon. You know the regulations about parole.
Yes, I know, but I don't feel very well. I was going to go and see her tomorrow.
Yes, that's true, Mrs. Jackson. She hasn't been very well. It's hard work looking after me as well.
Well, I must admit you do look a little pale, but you must report in. You could have phoned.
Yes, I know. Would you like some tea?
No, I mustn't stay.
Well, if you're sure.
Yes, sure. Oh, yes, there was something I wanted to ask you.
Yes?
Did you get in touch with B. Smith at the hospital?
No. Oh, I did leave a plant and a letter for her. That was all right, wasn't it?
Yes, of course. You heard she's escaped, I suppose?
Yes, it was on the radio. Have they caught her yet?
Not yet, but they will. Did she have your address?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, well, that's just as well, because if she had managed to get in touch with you and you'd helped her, you know what would happen to your parole.
Yes, I know.
Oh. I didn't know you smoked, young lady. It's very dangerous in your condition.
No, they're mine. I've picked up the habit since I got out. Just an occasional one, that's all.
Well, I'd better be going. Now, remember to report in.
Yes, I'll remember. I'll see Miss Vernon tomorrow.
Bye-bye, Judith, Ann. Goodbye, Mum.
Bye.
That was cute, Mum. You too, Judy.
Oh, I only hope she didn't suspect anything.
But why would she? You know, look, I know you're worried because I put you on the spot, but it won't be for long, I promise. I can eat one of these. It was quick thinking on your part, Mum.
When are you leaving?
When I get some money and some gear.
Well, how long will it take?
Judy.
Oh, don't worry, Mum. I understand. Don't you worry your pretty little head about my leaving either. It won't be long. I've got an idea.
Well, it's not bad for an old bomb, is it?
Mm-hmm. You couldn't have done better if you'd used the rolls. Well, I'd better go.
Yeah. Oh, it's funny, isn't it?
What?
Well, they let you out to go to work, but they don't let you out to go to the movies or anything.
You wouldn't be game to ask me even if I was allowed.
Maybe I would.
Maybe you would at that. Really, I'd better go.
Can I pick you up for work tomorrow morning?
If you want to.
I want to. Oh, hang on, there's a trick to that. Just get that.
Well, I'll see you tomorrow then.
Hello, Miss Bennett.
What the hell do you think this is? The YWCA?
What's the matter? I'm not late. I'm not talking about time. I'm talking about your disgusting behaviour outside the prison gates just now.
Look, I don't even know
Look,
what
don't
you
argue
mean.
with me, Warner. You seem to forget that you're a prisoner here. A prisoner who's been given the privilege of going to work outside. You also seem to have forgotten that you're supposed to take public transport to and from work.
I know that, Miss Bennett. My boss's son just offered me a lift back, that's all.
That's all. And what about the mauling that was going on in the car?
I don't know what you think you saw, but I wasn't mauling anyone.
Look, don't argue with me. Just sign on and get inside.
Yes, Miss Bennett.
And in future, if you don't obey the rules, you'll find yourself on report and working back inside.
Yes, Miss Bennett.
Good. Now, before you go to your cell, Miss Vernon wants to see you.
You wanted to see me, Miss Vernon?
Yes, Lynn. Sit down. Now, what's this I hear about you and Geoffrey Butterfield? Well?
What have you heard? As if I didn't know. It's Miss Bennett, isn't it? She's got a dirty mind.
This has got nothing to do with Miss Bennett.
But I thought you just said you'd been hearing things about Jeff and I.
So I have. But not from Miss Bennett.
Well, who?
From Geoffrey's father. He came to see me today. It seems that he doesn't want you to work at the nursery anymore.
Not work there anymore, but that's not fair. Jeff and I haven't done anything wrong. Why didn't Mr. Butterfield tell me this before I left?
I don't know, but he was very determined. I think you better tell me exactly what's been going on.
Nothing. I like Jeff and he likes me, that's all.
You sure there's nothing else? Well, Mr. Butterfield thinks things have gone far enough.
That's not fair.
Perhaps not. But there's nothing we can do about it. At least it won't be any reflection on your work release. I'll make out a report and we'll look for something else. Okay? Leon, I am sorry.
You startled me. It's pretty, isn't it?
Yeah. Haven't seen anything as pretty as this in a long time. All I got's an old cracked mirror. Nothing as pretty as this.
It was a present from a very dear friend of mine.
Really? You know something? Ever since I was a kid, if I ever saw anything as pretty as this, I had to have it. Know what I mean? Good. I like to get presents. Most of them in here give me something every now and then. If they know what's good for them, that is. I think you and me are going to get along all right. Mind you, there's a few. I won't mention any names, but be careful. Otherwise, you'll end up with nothing. See you around, love.
She's right, you know. You will end up with nothing, especially if you can't out to the likes of her. Stand up for yourself, otherwise they'll make your life hell in here.
I know, but what can I do? I'm useless with people like her. I just give way.
Look, it's dog eat dog in here. If you don't give as good as you get, they'll walk all over you. That's a dinner bell. You coming?
I'll be along in a moment.
Right. Remember what I said?
Thank you.
Could I speak to Steve Wilson, please?
Are you waiting for Lynn Warner?
Yeah.
I'm afraid you're wasting your time. She won't be going to work today.
Why not?
I'm not at liberty to discuss that with you. I suggest you talk to your father about it.
But what's the matter?
I told you. Ask your father about it.
Dad, what's going on?
Like what?
Oh, come off it. Why isn't Lynn coming into work today?
Oh.
Well, why isn't she coming in?
Well, Jeff, she's gone. Let's leave it at that.
Gone? What, for good?
Yeah. It's all for the best, son. You mightn't think so now, but you will later on.
Look, you knew about this last night, didn't you?
Yeah.
Well, why didn't you tell me? I went in there to pick her up like an idiot.
I'll be fair, son. How was I to know you're going to pick her up? Look, you're better out of it, believe me. You can never trust a convicted prisoner, especially a woman.
I suppose it does take time.
Everything takes time in here. It's all right, just ignore it. Come on.
I want to talk to you.
Leave her alone.
Oh, piss off. I'm talking to the monkey, not her keeper. There's a couple of things I forgot to get.
Really?
Yeah. Things to go with that pretty mirror you gave me. Oh, sorry, love. Pick it up. Thank me.
Thank you. He's sick. Why don't you pick on Monica and see how far you get?
Why don't I pick on you? Hey, you'll get the same if you don't toe the line. Piss off!
What's going on?
Karen tripped.
Right, everybody move away. Move it. You all right? You better see the doctor.
I'm all right.
No, we'll still see the doctor. Yeah. Was this an accident?
Yeah.
How did it happen?
I slipped.
Really?
I'll leave you to it.
Hold up. And look up. It wasn't an accident, was it, Karen?
I told you.
Yes, I know what
it
you
was
told me, but you and I know different, don't we? Look right. Left. Look up. I'm not stupid, Karen. Look right. Left. Yes, well, everything seems to be all right in there. You're going to be a bit sore for a while, but otherwise you'll live. You can't let people get away with this sort of thing, Karen.
You and I know better than that, Greg. Anyway, she'll get hers.
Well, that's not the way to handle this.
Really? Why not?
You don't meet violence with violence. You've never believed that.
Nobody stays the same, Greg. Not in here.
Hello, Lynn.
Oh, hi. What are you doing here?
Well, why didn't you tell me?
Tell you what?
That you were leaving the nursery.
I didn't leave. Your dad sacked me.
He sacked you? I don't believe it.
Why? Because it's me telling you and not him?
No. Well, he just said you weren't coming back, that's all.
Jeff, don't you think I would have told you if I'd have known?
Yeah. Yeah, of course he can't stop treating me like a kid, you know? Well, it's about time he bloody well learnt.
Well, I suppose he's just trying to protect you.
From what? I mean, I'm perfectly capable of choosing my friends. If I want to have a relationship with you in any way I want, then it's my business, it's not his.
Well, I guess I can see his point of view.
What the hell with his point of view? This is my life he's interfering with. It's got to stop.
Oh, Jeff, if you...
Look, no excuse. He blamed you, right? Oh, God, he almost had me blaming you. Well, it's just not fair. Oh, look, I'm sorry. I should have seen all this before.
Oh, no, it doesn't matter. It was my fault. I guess I felt a bit guilty.
Don't. Well, I better go. I've got to have this out with him once and for all.
Listen, Jeff, please don't be too harsh on your dad.
Don't worry, I'll be seeing you.
Sit down, Claire.
Thank you. I'm afraid this is a little different from our last meeting.
Let's hope it won't be for too long.
Oh, I hope so, Erica. I don't think I could stand it.
Clara, one of the things you'll have to learn is, even though you're only here on remand, there are certain regulations you have to comply with. I'm afraid you'll have to call me Mrs. Davidson while you're in here.
Of course. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right. There are quite a few things you'll have to adjust to while you're in here, I'm afraid, but I'm sure you understand.
I'll try.
Good. Just remember this is not a hotel, and there are strict rules which have to be obeyed. We try to be as fair as we can. If you have any real problems and you feel I could help, please don't hesitate to ask.
Thank you. I hope that I haven't put you in an awkward position.
You haven't. Mrs. Jackson tells me you saw what happened to Karen Travers this morning. Would you like to tell me what happened? You have nothing to fear, Clara. I just want the truth.
It was an accident.
I don't believe you.
Oh, it's true. Karen slipped and hit her head.
Are you sure it wasn't with a little help from Nolene Burke?
It was an accident.
You seem to be learning very fast, Clara.
I'm sorry.
You may go. However, should you remember anything about that incident that you think I ought to know, you know where I am.
Yes, Mrs. Davidson.
No, it's no good, Mum. It doesn't fit. I must put on a few more pounds than I thought.
I don't have anything bigger.
No, don't worry. It wouldn't be enough now anyway, not since the police have broadcast that description of me. I'm going to need a whole lot of new gear and a wig. Try and change my appearance.
But how are you going to get it? You don't have any money and we can't let you have any. We need the little we've saved for the baby.
Well, I wouldn't take it anyway. I owe you enough already.
What are you going to do?
I've got a friend who owes me. So I'd just like to ask you one more favour, Mum.
That's what they all say.
It's what I like about you, Judith Ann. You're all heart. Like I said, Mum, just one more favour.
Of course.
Good. This friend of mine owns a jewellery shop. So I'll give you a note and she'll give you some money and I'll be apples. I'll be gone from here and you won't even know I've been.
Well, can you trust this friend?
Oh, yeah.
Gran, you mustn't.
It'll be all right.
You're already too involved. I'll do it. Be much safer.
No.
She's right, you know. It would be safer. No one would suspect her.
I don't know, Bea. It's all right for me. I've been in trouble, but she's still just a baby.
Well, it's up to you, Mum, but the sooner I get that gear, the sooner I'm out of here. Wouldn't take her a jiffy.
All right, then. But you be careful.
Glad you can make it. What kept you?
I went to see Lynn.
Well, I've told you to stay away from her.
It's time you stopped telling me anything.
Now, you listen to me, young
Now, you
Jeffrey.
listen to me for once, Dad.
Don't talk to me like that.
Look, it's time you stop mollycoddling me. I'm not a kid. I'm 22 years old, and it's time you realise that. Now, you sacked Lynn, and I want to know why.
I don't have to answer to you. I'm your father, and I've got your best interests at heart. If I think someone's not right for you, I've got every right to try and do something about it.
Not right? What right have you got to judge her? She's made a mistake. She's serving her time. What more do you want? God, it's people like you with prejudices that make this world stink.
Really? And where would you be if it weren't for me? I've worked my guts out to put you through uni, built up this place by myself so I could leave you something when I've gone. And I'm not going to sit around on my backside, Jeffrey, and see it all go down the drain because of some little jailbird. You come back here, Jeffrey. I haven't finished with you.
Yes, you have. And I want to tell you something. From now on, I choose my own friends, I make my own decisions, and as for this nursery, you know what you can do with it.
Hello? Erica Davidson here, Vera. I assume you've read this morning's paper.
Yes, I have. Is what true, Mrs. Davidson?
That you're friendly with this man, Lucas.
Yes, I am.
You surprise me with your choice of friends, Vera. He's been arrested. You know the rules on that.
Yes, I do. But I thought a man was innocent until proved guilty. Or doesn't it apply in this case? I really don't think there's anything further to discuss, Mrs. Davidson. You asked me, and I told you. George Lucas is a friend of mine, and I don't think it's any business of yours or anyone else's what I do or whom I see in my off-duty hours.
I'm afraid I can't quite agree with that, Miss Bennett. As I said, I don't wish to discuss this further on the phone. Please be in my office at 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Before or after I sign on for duty, Mrs. Davidson?
Before, Miss Bennett. Goodbye.
Hello, Mr. Butterfield. Lovely day.
For some. What can I do for you?
A statement.
What's that for?
I'm hoping you'll sign it.
What's it about?
It just states that Lynn Warner's work and behaviour had nothing to do with her being sacked, that's all.
Just didn't work out. Sorry about that. I'll sign it.
Thank you.
She's a pretty girl, but just too attractive, you know. Nothing wrong with her work, mind you. Very good, in fact. Could do with a few more like her. Well, you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
Just doesn't help the business, you know, if people find out that sort of thing.
There's no need to explain or apologise, Mr. Butterfield. I could have told you from the start this would have happened.
You having me on?
No. I only went along with it because Ted Warner suggested it. I wanted to prove to him that I knew my job better than he does. It's all in a day's work.
Ted was only trying to help.
I agree. But sometimes friends are more trouble than they were.
You trying to tell me in a roundabout way that I was wrong for taking her on at the start and then sacking her because of, well, you know.
Your son? No. No, not at all.
But surely a man's not wrong for wanting the best for his son. See him get on, have all the things he didn't have. And one day have a wife and kids he'll be proud of.
Of course not. So long as what you want for him is what he wants too. Still, Jeff will be all right. He'll be back at uni in no time and forget about Lynn altogether. After all, holiday romances never last, do they? But I'm sure you know that. Well, I must be going. Thanks for this.
It's okay. See ya.
Jean Vernon here. Noni, how are you? You've what? You lucky so-and-so. But you're going? Oh, I don't know. How long would you be away for? 6 weeks. Well, why don't I come over sometime we could talk about it? Well, tonight, if you like. Great. I'll see you then. Bye. Well, Lynn, have you thought about another job?
All morning, but I still haven't found one.
Why don't you rethink those 2 factory jobs I originally lined up for you?
Isn't there anything else?
To be honest, I really haven't had much time to think about it. But I'll call around this afternoon. Maybe we'll come up with something. Hello. Mr. Butterfield? No, not yet.
Are you sure about this? Well, she's here with me now. I'll ask her if you like. Mr. Butterfield was wondering if you'd like your job back. I'm sure Lynn would love to come back, Mr. Butterfield. Thank you for calling.
Well, I'm sorry to have kept you waiting. These things sometimes take a little longer than we planned. Please, won't you sit down?
Thank you.
Right. Now, what can I do for you? What is this?
There's $3,000. I want you to use it as bail for George Lucas.
George Lucas.
Yes,
Are you sure you know what you're doing?
very sure. Please, Mr. Wilson, will you do it?
Let's not just rush into things, hmm? Surely one of his associates will come up with the bail money.
Well, he told me if he was ever arrested that he'd be on his own.
Miss Bennett, have you really thought about the consequences if you go ahead with this?
Yes, I have.
Now, what if George Lucas is found guilty? You'll be in a rather nasty situation with your department.
Well, I'll think about that afterwards, but he won't be.
All right. Just so long as you know what's involved.
Yes, I do.
Now, if you go to the hearing and you're nominated as payer for the surety, then Lucas will be assigned to you under the conditions of the bail.
I'm aware of that.
You were either very brave or very foolish.
Will you do it?
I'll have to check the time of the hearing.
I've checked it. It's in about an hour and a half.
Then what are we waiting for?
Taking a long time, Mum.
She'll be here soon.
You don't think she'll do anything stupid?
Bea, Judith Ann isn't stupid.
I don't know, she got a bun in the oven, didn't she? If you don't call that stupid,
Bea,
what do you-
don't talk like that. You know what I mean.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mum. Take no notice of me. I'm just itching to get out of here, that's all.
Can you trust this friend of yours?
Oh, yeah.
Well, what if she doesn't want to help? What if she tells the police?
Val's an ex-con. She hates the cops worse than I do. Got no worries there.
Well, I hope you're right.
Oh, I'm right. She knows better than to cross me.
When you've got everything, where will you go?
I'm right. I told Val in the letter I'll be staying a couple of days with her.
Well, I only hope she's the friend you think she is.
She better be.
Good day, miss. Can I help you?
Yes, I want to see Mrs. Richardson, please. I've got a letter for her from a friend of hers.
Mrs. Richardson's not here. She sold me the shop a couple of months ago.
Would you know where she lives?
I wouldn't know. I believe she moved to Sydney.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry.
Here. Have another nail in your coffin.
What do you want?
Oh, don't be like that, Martha. Thought we was mates.
Yeah, we are. So what do you want?
I think that Monica Ferguson's getting too big for her boots.
Oh, yeah? You're not doing too bad yourself since B. Smith left.
Well, somebody's got to be in charge.
And you think it ought to be you?
With a bit of help from you two.
Can't do it on your own, eh?
Just need a bit of help, that's all.
Go fight your own battles.
Make it worth your while.
Oh, yeah? What are you offering?
2 packets of fags. Each.
Tell you what, make it 3 and you got a deal.
You're on.
I think you ought to sit down, relax, and have a bite to eat, Bea.
I couldn't eat a thing, Mum.
Well, at least have a cup of tea.
What?
Well, it might get you to sit down, then I can stop worrying about you.
Oh, all right. Give us a cuppa. Well, about time. There you are, Mum. I told you Val had come through.
It's a couple of dollars change.
Oh, thanks, love. You're beaut. But old Val was surprised to see you. I won't be a minute.
Thank goodness that's over.
Oh, hey. Well, say something.
Well, you look so different, Bea.
Well, that was the general idea. Not what I'd choose myself, but it'll do the trick. Old Val certainly knows how to choose a disguise. Nothing to say, Judy?
It's all right.
Oh, come on. It's better than all right.
Bea?
Yes, Mum, I'll be off.
Are you sure you're doing the right thing?
Nothing else I can do.
Well, you could give yourself up.
No way. I'm going to enjoy this. Look, I'll be all right. Don't worry.
Are you sure?
Oh, the stitches are giving me a bit of bother, but a little bit of pain never hurt anybody. Thanks, Mum. Aren't many like you left in the world. Yeah, you look after yourself and take care of Mum. Well, I better be off. Don't want to miss Val at the shop.
Bless you, Mum. Take care of yourself, Bea.
Yeah. You bet.
Well, you don't have to worry anymore. She's gone. You don't look very pleased.
Where do you think she'll go?
Well, you know where she's going. To her friends.
She can't.
What do you mean?
Oh, Gran, I just did it to get rid of her. I just didn't want it to give us any more trouble.
Darling, what is it?
Valerie doesn't own the shop anymore. But I bought the things. I've just withdrawn all our savings. What do you think she'll do?
Hey, bloody, watch it!
Still throwing your weight around, huh? Ask nicely and I might let you through.
Piss off.
My, we are acting tough, ain't we? It's about time you learned who's boss around here. There can't be two, and I just voted you out.
Funny that. I was just thinking the same thing about you.
Really? So what are you going to do about it?
Wait and see, pudding.
You're scared? Well, I ain't waiting. I'm going to settle this thing here and now.
Hello, Nolan. What's going on? Need some help?
Yeah, thanks, Martha.
Like that, is it?
What's wrong, Monty? Scared.
You keep.
Our friend who was supposed to look after the house and pets has let them down.
So you're going to do it?
I don't know yet.
Oh, don't worry about me. I'll be glad of the peace and quiet.
Thanks, Meg. I'm going to see them tonight, so I'll let you know for sure, okay?
Sure.
Great. You know, it's a funny thing about Vera and Lucas.
What do you mean?
Well, look how friendly they were the other day at the prison gates. And then Vera turns him in.
Well, I think she did the right thing. I mean, she could have let him go and really fouled things up for herself. I mean, I feel rather sorry for her. Must have been a very hard thing to do.
Well, you're really in the same boat, you two, aren't you?
How do you mean?
Well, you've been breaking the rules and saying Mum.
Suppose you're right. Jean, talking of Mum, have you ever seen her smoke?
No, why?
Well, something's been bothering me ever since I saw a packet of cigarettes at her place yesterday.
Meg, you didn't go to see her again.
Yes, I did, but don't get excited. I'm worried about what Mum could be caught up in.
Because of a packet of cigarettes?
Yes, well, she said they were hers, but I don't believe her. I think she's helping Bea Smith.
What? You think Bea's there now?
Yes, I do.
Well, shouldn't you let the police know about this?
I know, but what if I'm wrong?
Well, then they'll find out that you've been seeing Mum, and the fat will really hit the fire.
So? What do I do?
Nothing for the moment. I'll do it. Mum was supposed to come to see me, but she didn't. So I'll go and see her.
I'll go with you.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can. It'll be okay. I'll be going with you. All legal. Right?
Right.
Thanks. Do you want some coffee? Oh, or a drink?
Nothing now, thanks, love. Shouldn't you be going to work?
Later. Come sit down.
How do you think they'll take it?
What do you mean, us?
Well, you could lose your job, couldn't you?
You haven't been convicted yet. Well, look, we'll face that when we come to it, okay?
Now, look, let's be sensible about this. If I get unlucky and go down, I'm not going to drag you with me.
You wanted to see me? I ain't got all day.
You've got as long as I say you have.
Really?
That's right.
You seem to have forgotten what happened before.
No. But you seem to have forgotten who's boss around here, and I think it's time I taught you a lesson.
You and what army?
Well, I had a little talk with Martha and a friend. And I think you'll find they've changed their minds about you taking Bee's place. And since it was you said I put Yatesy in the dryer, I might as well live up to my reputation.
You wouldn't dare.
Time.
No, Bonnie. No!
No, Bill. Get her in there. Look at her! Bloody terrified! So who's taking Bee's place, huh?
You, Bonnie. You.
Hey, Nolene. Don't forget me at the buy-up.
Okay, Pete. Yeah, thanks, mate.
What's wrong?
Everyone I had working for me has been busted. If I know that lot, it won't be long before somebody talks. And Yates did a real good job with that letter to the police. With that and all the other evidence they're bound to find, I've got no chance.
What are you going to do?
I'm trying to think.
What about Steve Wilson?
Well, what about him?
Well, he could represent you.
Look, love, I could get the best barrister in the country, but Perry Mason couldn't help me now.
Look, I've got to go. We'll talk about it later. We'll think of something.
There's no way in the world they'll put me away. I've got friends that'll help me get out of the country. Come with me, Vera.
George, we'd be on the run for the rest of our lives. Always looking over our shoulder in case someone was there. Please, if you are convicted, I'll wait for you. We could move away, start a new life together.
And when do you think that'd be? By the time they let me out, I'd be too old. It's got to be now.
Look, think about it while I'm at work.
I love you, girl. I wish the hell things are different, but they're not.
Look, I've got to go.
I can't let you.
What are you talking about?
I'm jumping bail. It's as simple as that.
I'm sorry, madam. I'm closing. If you'd like to come back tomorrow morning, I open at 9 sharp.
Oh, has Mrs. Richardson gone?
Mrs. Richardson? She's been gone a long while.
Well, looks like she's doing pretty well.
Pardon?
Business must be booming if Valerie can afford to knock off early and employ a manager to do the locking up for her.
I don't know where you got your information from, madam, but I am not the manager. I am the owner. I bought this shop from Mrs. Richardson some 2 months ago.
But she was in here this morning.
She was not, and I should know. There was a young lady asking after her. I told her the same thing. Now, I'd like to close, madam.
Yeah, sure, so thanks.
I'll throw these away too?
Yes, dear.
What if she comes back?
We'll worry about that when it happens.
Hello, Mum. I thought I'd pop round and see if you're feeling any better.
Mum, come in.
Throw this away too?
Yes, dear, and will you make us a cup of tea, please? Well, it's very good of you to take the time to call and see me, Miss Vernon.
Oh, that's all right, Mum. But if you can't call in yourself, you really must give me a ring. Now, you know the conditions of your parole. Only one misdemeanor, and it could be revoked.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Well, we'll forget about it this time. Ah, you've done wonders with this place. Do you mind if I have a look in the bedrooms?
Something worrying you, Mum?
No. I wonder if Judith Ann wants any help.
No, leave her. She'll manage. If you spoil her too much, she'll never learn to cope.
Yes, you're right.
It's really lovely, Mum. You can be very proud.
Thank you.
I don't think I'm going to have time for a cup of tea. I'm supposed to go and see some friends, and I don't want to be late. Do you mind?
What a shame. Still, if you've got to go, perhaps another time.
Love to.
Well, if you're going and you're giving me a lift, I'd better go too.
Yeah.
Bye, Mum.
Bye.
Bye-bye, Mum.
Goodbye.
Well?
Sorry to disappoint you, Meg, but I found nothing.
Nothing at all?
If B's been there, which I doubt, then everything's been cleared up and all evidence got rid of.
What about that dress Judith Ann was going to throw away?
What about it?
I think it was identical to the description of the one B stole from the hospital.
Oh, Meg. Do you honestly believe that Mum, knowing how close Judith Ann is to having the baby, would jeopardize her parole into helping someone like B?
I don't know.
Don't you think you're blowing all things out of proportion? Making a mountain out of a molehill?
You could be right.
Reception. Erica Davidson here. Has Miss Bennett arrived yet? Oh. Has she phoned in to say she's sick? No. Yes, it is unusual. No, I'll do it myself, thank you.
Sorry, love. It's the only way.
give me roses. I wish he could again, but that was on the outside, and things were different then. On the inside, the sun still shines, and the rain falls down, but the sun and rain are prisoners too. When morning comes around, last night I dreamed we were together.